The big sun touched the edge of the world. It painted the desert in colors of orange, red. Long shadows stretched across the sand like dark fingers. I was alone in my old truck. The road was a long, empty line of blacktop, cutting through the vast, silent land. I had been driving for hours. The only sound was the low hum of my engine. The air grew cool as the light began to fade. The silence of the desert was not peaceful. It felt heavy. It felt like something was waiting, watching the day die, and the night begin. The world outside my dusty windows was turning into a place of secrets, shadows. My truck was old, the gas gauge was low. I hoped to reach the next small town before it was completely dark. The desert at night is a different place. The familiar shapes of cactus, rock formations become strange and menacing. I looked at the horizon. The last sliver of the sun disappeared. The sky turned a deep, dark blue. A feeling of unease started to creep into my mind. It was a cold feeling, like a small snake slithering down my spine. I turned on my headlights. The beams cut two bright paths into the night. They showed me the empty road ahead. They made the darkness on either side seem even deeper. The desert was quiet now. The birds had stopped singing. The insects had not yet started their nightly chorus. It was a complete and total silence that felt unnatural. I gripped the steering wheel tightly. My hands were starting to feel damp. Suddenly, I heard a sound. It was not the engine. It was not the tires on the road. It was a low whistle. It seemed to come from the wind, but it was different. The wind in the desert is a natural sound. This was not natural. It sounded like a person whistling a strange, sad tune. I turned down the radio, which was only playing static anyway. I listened hard. The whistling came again. It was closer this time. It seemed to be moving alongside my truck, just out of sight in the deep darkness. My heart started to beat faster, a frantic drum against my ribs. I pushed the gas pedal harder. The old truck groaned, but it went faster. The whistling sound stayed with me. It did not get louder or softer. Then I saw something. In the corner of my eye, a shape moved in the desert. It was tall and thin. It ran on two legs, but it did not move like a person. It was too fast, it was too fluid. It seemed to float over the uneven ground. I turned my head to get a better look, but it was gone as quickly as it had appeared. There was only the dark shape of a tall saguaro cactus. Was I seeing things? The stress of the long drive, the darkness, the isolation? My grandmother's words came back to me then. She grew up near this desert. She used to tell me stories when I was a child. She told me to be careful in the desert, especially at night. She told me about the skinwalkers. The Navajo people have legends about them. They are evil medicine men who have gained the power to change their shape. They can become any animal they want, a coyote, a wolf, an owl, a bird. They use this power to travel quickly, to escape capture, and to cause harm to others. Her voice was always low and serious when she spoke of them. She said you should never look a skinwalker in the eye. If you do, they can read your thoughts and use your fears against you. They can make you sick just by blowing a special powder in your face. The stories always scared me as a child, but I thought they were just that. Stories. Fables told to keep children from wandering off into the desert alone. Now, sitting in my truck in the middle of this dark, empty place, the stories did not feel like fables. They felt real. I remembered her telling me how to know if one was near. You might hear strange noises, a baby crying, a woman screaming where no person should be, the whistling. I had heard the whistling. Suddenly the truck's engine sputtered. It coughed once, it coughed twice, and then died. The headlights went out. Darkness and silence. Panic seized me. I turned the key again and again, just a clicking sound. Nothing. I was stranded. A sliver of moon began to rise, faint silvery light over the desert, shapes of the rocks and cacti. I had to do something. My phone had no signal. I decided to get out and check the engine. My hand shook as I reached for the door handle. Slowly, quietly, I pushed the door open. Cold night air hit my face. Beside the truck, senses on high alert. I listened. Nothing. I looked around. Nothing moved. I opened the hood and grabbed the small flashlight. I knew nothing about engines, but I had to try. I shone the light on the ground beside the truck. Footprints, not normal, like a large wolf or coyote, but wrong. Too big, too deep. They began to change. A bare human foot in the dust. I slammed the hood of the truck shut. I had to get back inside. I scrambled back into the driver's seat and locked the door. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the flashlight. I sat there in the dark, my heart pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. The footprints proved it. Something had been walking alongside my truck. A quiet sound from the back of the truck made me freeze. It was a soft, shuffling noise. Slowly my eyes lifted to the rearview mirror. I did not want to look, but I had to. The moonlight that came through the back window was faint, but it was enough. It was enough to show me a shape in the back seat that had not been there before. It was a dark, hunched figure, sitting perfectly still. And from the darkness, two eyes gleamed back at me in the mirror. They were not human eyes. They were the bright, shining eyes of a desert predator. It had been inside with me all along.